So in the Gospel, we overhear this failed conversation between Jesus and Pilate. And it's a conversation which is taking place at the clash of three worldviews. The worldview of the Roman political authorities, the worldview of the Jewish leaders, and the worldview of Jesus Christ with his vision of the kingdom of God. And the hinge of this failed conversation is the word king. What bothers Pilate about Jesus' claim to kingship is that it possibly threatens the rule of the Roman authorities over the people of Israel. But what threatens the Jewish leaders is the messianic hint that Jesus' appeal to kingship seems to contain. And so there's this clash of worldviews in which they're talking past each other. Question leads to counter-question, and we're not really clear by the end of the dialogue that the cause has been advanced in any way whatsoever. It's interesting that Jesus, when he responds to Pilate's questioning, answers primarily not in reference to himself, but indirectly in reference to himself, by reference to the kingdom over which he will preside, the kingdom which is not of this world. And he goes on to speak in terms of truth. Christ comes into the world to bear witness to truth. His kingdom is a kingdom of justice and peace, because it's a kingdom gathered, consecrated, called by he who is truth himself. And implicit in Jesus' response to Pilate is an invitation, a tacit invitation to Pilate to participate in the kingship of Christ. After all, Jesus as the truth comes not as a king, but as the king. He comes not only to be one king among many, but to reveal the meaning of kingship, to declare what it means for any of us to exercise leadership in the political sphere. Pilate then is tacitly invited to conform his exercise of authority to the exercise of authority that will be revealed in the crucifixion, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus is not a king, he is the king. He reveals on the public sphere the very meaning of political leadership as service of this kingdom of truth and justice and peace. And so too, that invitation which Jesus extends to Pilate to share in his kind of kingship, a kingship which is not of the world, even though it is in the world. Well, that invitation is extended to you and to me this morning. Each of us called to bear witness to the truth in the public sphere, in our political lives, in our lives together as a community. And in so doing, we can begin by trying to broker conversations which are of a better quality than the conversation we overhear in the gospel. Conversations which do not fail because a place of freedom has been constituted in which we can together pursue the truth even when our worldviews clash. And of course, we enter into that conversation not only as an end in itself, but that we too might bear witness to the truth, and that by so doing, by bearing witness to the truth of Christ who is in our midst, we may make that kingdom of God little by little more manifest in our world. Christ might once again preside gloriously over our social lives, so that the kingdom of God, inaugurated by the cross, may be a little more fully present in our world today. Let us stand and proclaim our faith. I believe in one God,